We see more names on the special election ballot. A judge finally weighs in on the controversial hearing. Plus, ice still covering roads near Bozeman and rain for your work week. Meteorologist Matt Gray will tell you when spring will make its return.
Right now, this is NBC Montana News, getting the facts right.
Well, the special election ballots are fine the way they are. That's what the Secretary of State's office is now telling county elections offices based on a judge's court order today. Good evening, I'm Montana McLaughlin. Now, the decision comes after minor party candidates filed a lawsuit with the Secretary of State's office challenging Montana's ballot access laws. We'll tell you what those minor party candidates are now facing in a moment. But first, we need to alert you to rapidly changing weather conditions. You can see here snow plows out today over Bozeman Pass, even icicles on our pass cam, and there's still slushy and icy roads out there tonight. Meteorologist Matt Gray has been tracking the rain and snow and where it's going next. Matt.
Yeah, that's right. Difficult driving conditions this morning. Things are starting to improve, however, across the region. Some good news, no more winter weather alerts for our area. However, as you head towards Billings, you'll run into some slushy roads, or heading north to Great Falls and Lewistown. Here is what is left on the radar. You can see a lot more activity now in eastern Montana, and things beginning to wrap up a little bit around our area. Still, though, a few showers will be moving across the region from time to time. So traveling north, traveling south into the Yellowstone Park area, or traveling east, slower traffic out there. But in western Montana, things have improved. Around the Bozeman area, still looking at some slushy conditions. Slush around the Bozeman area, over Bozeman Pass. A little bit of snow on Highway 2. That State Highway 2, and around Virginia City, slushy and snowy conditions as well as you're heading towards West Yellowstone. More showers are on the way for tomorrow. We'll tell you about that next.
Thank you, Matt. And Bozeman Pass is reopened tonight after a semi-truck overturned around 10 a.m. this morning. It happened here 8 miles east of Bozeman. Highway Patrol says the crash reduced traffic to one lane for nearly 2 hours. Troopers reported minor injuries and want to remind people to be cautious in these conditions. Well, back to our top story tonight. The Secretary of State's office says the special election ballot is fine the way it is. Now, that's according to Judge Brian Morris's court order. According to the Secretary of State, the order means county elections offices won't need to reprint their ballots to add the names of minor party candidates. Montanans have to choose a new congressman after former Representative Ryan Zinke became the Secretary of Interior. And that's where we find NBC Montana's Karen Faringer. She went through the judge's court documents today to find out what this now means for Montana's minor parties. Karen.
Montana, that special election is going to be on May 25th. According to our state's laws, minor party candidates need around 14,000 signatures to get their name on a special election ballot. But minor party candidates sued, saying they didn't have enough time to get those signatures. The judge's decision came late Saturday night. In it, he agreed that 14,000 signatures were too many and dropped that required number to 400. But here's the catch. The deadline to submit signatures already passed, and the judge says the candidates never presented any meaningful signature gathering effort to begin with. One of the plaintiffs, Doug Campbell, says even if his name won't be on the ballot, he still sees this as a victory.
Even if no additional candidates are on this year's ballot, or this election's ballot, the precedent set by this ruling will be a benefit to Montana.
Tonight at 10, the plaintiffs are putting together one final push to get enough signatures. We'll tell you about that later, plus how county officials are reacting to the news. Live in Missoula, Karen Faringer, NBC Montana.
Thank you, Karen. Well, the Secretary of State's office released a statement just minutes ago saying they officially plan to proceed with the current ballot that does not include those minor party candidates. It's welcome news for Montana elections offices. 39 of Montana's 56 counties already printed their ballots. And if things had changed, they'd have to reprint. The deadline to send ballots to overseas voters as well is tomorrow. And right now, the ballot officially will include Democrat Rob Quist, Republican Greg Gianforte, and Libertarian candidate Mark Wicks. You can read the judge's entire order on our website at nbcmontana.com. Well, tonight, hundreds of people are recovering in Egypt after bombs exploded at 2 churches on Palm Sunday. Worshippers there. The blast killed more than 40 people, wounded 71 others, and now Egypt's president's declared a 3-month-long state of emergency. NBC's Lucy Kavanaugh has details from London, and we have to warn you, this may contain some disturbing scenes.
This was supposed to be a day of celebration, the Sunday before Easter, kicking off Holy Week. Instead, shock, anguish, and disbelief across Egypt over these brazen daylight attacks of ISIS claiming responsibility for the violence. The first attack targeted a Coptic Christian church in the Nile Delta city of Tanta, about 50 miles north of Cairo. It was about 9:30 in the morning. The pews were packed with families and worshipers, families with their children, in fact, when an explosion ripped through St. George's Church, killing at least 27, injuring dozens.
I was sitting in the front, and all of a sudden everything went dark. I passed out and someone pushed me off my seat. A few seconds later, I got up and saw bodies all around me.
Horrific footage emerging on social media of the aftermath, showing blood-stained pews, people screaming. Authorities believe an explosive device was planted inside that church. The second attack was a suicide attack outside of St. Mark's Church in Alexandria. Now, this is Egypt's second largest city. At least 16 people killed there, over 41 wounded. Our freelancer on the scene said the blast was so strong that at least 15 nearby shops were destroyed. The attacker apparently tried to approach the main gate in that church, but was turned away. He was directed towards a metal detector, and that is when he detonated his device. So as horrific as that attack was, it could have been much, much worse. President Sisi of Egypt condemning the violence this morning, ordering the deployment of troops to help the police secure facilities across the country. Lucy Kavanaugh, NBC News, London.
And President Trump is condemning that church bombing today. Well, we wanted to know more about Palm Sunday, which is today. Now, according to ChristianPost.com, Palm Sunday falls the Sunday before Easter. The holiday is about peace and salvation. People carry palm leaves in celebration, and according to the Christian religion, it celebrates Jesus' last 7 days on earth. Well, today, thousands of people marched through the streets of downtown Dallas for a march focused on immigration and racial equality. Organizers say this year's theme is focused on family, unity, and community. They say they want real immigration reform and to end, quote, aggressive deportation efforts. Several politicians, celebrities, and activists were scheduled to speak, including keynote Martin Luther King III, who says the march was about communities coming together.
What is important about this demonstration, in my judgment, is it's Christians, it's Muslims, it's Jews, it's Hindus, it's people who may not have a belief, but the fact that people, Americans, are coming together saying we as America can and must do better.
Well, if you're looking for a job, Amazon announced its plans to add 30,000 part-time positions across the country next year. It's all part of a massive hiring binge that includes 5,000 jobs in virtual customer service. It allows employees to work from home. The other 25,000 jobs would be at Amazon warehouses, and if you work over 20 hours a week, you could be eligible for benefits. Amazon CEO said in a statement he wants to appeal to those who need a flexible schedule. Well, if you've noticed spiking gas prices at the pump, they might not be going away anytime soon. That's according to the Lundberg survey, who reports the average price of a regular grade gasoline jumped 9 cents in the last 2 weeks. They say the increase is in part due to the U.S. missile strikes on Syria's airbase this week. Lundberg survey reports the national average right now for 1 gallon of gas is $2.43. Missoula authorities have been tracking several scams over the last few weeks, right on the verge of tax week. The most recent, they posted to their Facebook page. Take a listen.
This is the second reminder from the Office of Inspector General of Social Security Administration. Your Social Security number has been suspended.
Well, then the message then goes on and asks people to contact an emergency help number. Authorities say if you receive this message, do not call the number back and never give out personal information over the phone. Well, this week, the Montana legislature is looking at a bill that could affect your privacy. House Bill 148 is in its third reading. It would revise privacy laws surrounding electronics. It requires customers to be notified if contents of someone's electronic device is ever given to a government agency, among other things. Now, the House is also looking at a bill that extends the validity of veteran driver's licenses to the date they're honorably discharged. And also this week, the Senate will review a bill that requires the State Department of Health to monitor children's mental health if they'd ever previously sought mental health services. And water seems to be the main topic of discussion at nearly all city council meetings tomorrow. Bozeman will authorize the acting city manager to start the 5.3 million gallon water shortage project. The base bid for the project was just over $7.5 million. Now this week in Kalispell, they'll review their water storm assessment, and Missoula City Council will vote to approve $27,000 in water claims related to the city's acquisition of mountain water and $500,000 in general city claims. Well, on the other side of this break, a teacher's passion for reading will tell you how it's impacting Montana students. And it's mid-April, but it's sure not feeling like spring. Meteorologist Matt Gray is tracking rain for your work week. He'll tell you how long that will stick around.
To get your NBC Montana news anytime, download the NBC Montana News app. Just search NBC Montana on your Apple or Android store. Download the app and you're ready to go. And while you're there, download the NBC Montana Severe Weather app.
So, Bobby, have you seen that swell new show yet?
Oh, Sally, I wish I could, but my parents are getting rid of TV programming. It's just too expensive.
Get with the times, Bobby. Rocky Mountain Internet unleashes the power of internet with Real Choice TV at a fraction of the cost of cable or satellite.
Real Choice TV gives you access to hundreds of TV channels over the internet.
It's only $19.95. It uses a radical high-speed internet connection to deliver television services to your home.
Real Choice TV, only offered by Rocky Mountain Internet.
As you plan your new kitchen, to get hands-on with Sub-Zero, the food preservation specialist, and Wolf, the cooking specialist, simply get in touch with this appliance specialist.
Fred's Appliance. We sell appliances, only appliances.
Tuesday, the testimony begins.
Based on the force of impact, I would suspect that he was around 6'4".
Let the records show those are Mr. Henderson's dimensions.
Thank God he didn't mention my weight. Trial and Error, Tuesday after The Voice on NBC.
This is NBC Montana, getting the facts right.
Well, in Kalispell, one volunteer is helping students learn to read at Hedges Elementary, one book at a time. Our Christopher Salas introduces us to one man who's making a difference.
A teacher for 50 years, Jim Holland has walked down hallways from Columbia Falls to Taiwan.
I start with one boy, helping him read. Then I go to 2 kindergarten classes. I go to 2 second grade classes.
Now retired, he takes on a slightly different role. There's an old saying that the journey of life begins with the turn of a page. And no one understands that better than Holland, who's been helping kids learn how to read in these hallways now for the past 3 years.
Sometimes kids that just want to read with me, not necessarily needing help, but they want their turn.
Like Traveler Wise, who has been reading with Holland from the beginning. He says he looks forward to it every week.
Yes, I like reading with Mr. Holland.
How come?
I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to read.
And staff around the school say he's an invaluable asset.
And our kids look forward to having him here. Our teachers look forward to having him here. Last night in a staff meeting, we shared that we talked about Jim and our volunteers, and the entire room just smiled and went, oh, we love Jim. So without Jim, there's a missing link.
And after being in a classroom for 50 years without teaching, there's a missing link for Holland as well.
This isn't so much for the school. I enjoy it every day. It's for me.
In Kalispell, Christopher Salas, NBC Montana.
Well, tonight, dozens of residents near Oso, Washington are still not allowed back home after a slow-moving landslide forced highway closures. We told you about this last night, but now geologists are seeing new cracks in the land. Here's some photos they shared. This is the same spot a major landslide killed 42 people 3 years ago. State geologists say the land's moved about 4 feet in the last week.
That's a whole ball of wax that we just seem to keep ripping the scab off. It keeps bringing up some pretty tough stuff. This is a resilient community. This is a really wonderful community, and we all help each other out. We help each other. We talk about these things and move through this kind of stuff. But you know, it'd be nice to have a couple years of you guys not showing up.
And now Matt Gray with your forecast.
Well, Matt, it may not be mudslides here, but what is going on? We've got rain, a little bit of mix of rain and snow.
Yeah, it was pretty snowy in many areas overnight, and we saw the pictures there at the top of the program. Now we're kind of in between storms. The sun has come out in many areas across western Montana, while the snow and rain continues to fall in the central and eastern parts of the state. And we are in between storms, and that means another round of moisture is heading our way. It's on the coast now and is going to make its way into our region. In our region still, a few areas that are seeing some showers, specifically right along Interstate 90. You can see a few heavier sprinkles as you get up into the Flint Creek range. So up along Highway 1, you may see some showers along around Helmville, areas around Highway 200. Also, as you head into northwest Montana, some showers trying to work their way across the state line to Highway 200. And we have some showers up and down 93 from Whitefish all the way south to Polson. Those will begin to clear up as we head throughout the day. Much darker skies earlier in Bozeman. You can see the snow level got pretty close to the valley there. And it's 41 right now. We'll hang out in the similar temperature range through 7 o'clock and then dip down into the 30s as we head later on this evening. Gradual clearing, some showers still hanging around the Butte area with some darker skies, mix of clouds and sun. 38 right now. We'll be dipping down into the 20s as we head past 11 o'clock. Around Kalispell, we saw some showers earlier. Things improving here now in the 40s through 7, dropping into the 30s by 9 p.m. And sunniest in Missoula in the 40s there as well. We'll be dropping into the 30s, upper 30s as we head later on tonight. Fast forward on Future Tracker, what do we have? Well, we'll have a chance for a few sprinkles around near the Idaho state line in the morning. This is about 9 a.m. and here comes that next round of showers. But it is arriving late in the day, which means rain instead. So our mountain passes will have a chance to pick up a little bit of snow, especially right along the Idaho state line. Lookout Lolo, Lost Trail Pass, a chance for a little bit of snow. But overall, I think the impact is going to be fairly minor, even up in the higher elevation. So we'll have a brief period of some possibly heavier rainfall, but most of this should be fairly light. This is about 2 o'clock. That's when the Highway 93 area sees most of the action here. Butte gets in on things as we head to about 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Meanwhile, Bozeman, we're going to wait a little bit longer to see a few showers, and that'll be kind of around 7 or 8 p.m. where we see some of that rain, a few lingering spritzes and sprinkles as we head into your overnight on Monday, and then better conditions as we head into Tuesday. A little bit chilly overnight as we begin to clear out. 20s around the region, 26 Bozeman, 23 in Butte, 29 in Missoula, 28 in Kalispell, down to 19 in West Yellowstone. For tomorrow, 50 in the Bozeman area, 45 in Butte, 49 Missoula, 47 in Kalispell. Hamilton hits the 50s as well, along with Ennis. Tuesday, not looking that bad, but rain's going to come back in the forecast.